What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerd Castle. Today in the world of indie games, we're going to be fooling around with a title called Sandwalkers. I've had this one on my wish list for a long time, although I guess I say that at the beginning of a lot of videos because my wish list has like 500 games on it. But Sandwalkers is a post-apocalyptic mutant world, sort of like Caves of Cud, like an aesthetic almost, where everybody's some kind of weird genetic mutant freak. You live in a dune-riddled wasteland, and the game takes very heavy inspiration from titles like Curious Expedition. And so I think the audience for this particular roguelite is going to be very isolated to those people that really enjoyed Curious Expedition, but at the end of the day, that's a very real audience. Both of those games sold exceptionally well, and people really enjoyed them. I really enjoyed them, except for the dice-based combat. And so we're going to take a look at the game today for about 30 minutes and see if it's something you wanted to add to your wish list or if it's one of those games you'd rather pass on. The game is currently in early access for any prospective buyers, so you are going to see bugs, you are going to see like exposed text strings and things of that nature on some of the events. I've been playing now for about 4 or 5 runs, so about 2 hours this morning, and I think I'm ready to levy my complaints, overall observations, and things that I like about the game, give you some first impressions here, but the link is available for you down below in the description alongside other important links like my Twitch stream and Discord. Importance probably being purely subjective right there, important to me, but maybe not to you. Let's dive straight on in though, and let's hit this thing full force. I just wiped a Caravan just a second ago, and so it's time for us to do our thing. So at the beginning of every single run, as you do events and as you accomplish things out in the post-apocalyptic world, you are going to get memory fragments because the people in this universe don't remember the world that they used to live in. They're kind of quietly rediscovering all these phenomena and creatures. They've been holed up inside what is effectively the last bastion against the apocalypse, and now they're sending out caravans just to go look and see what's on the outside. And as you accumulate these memories, you are going to rediscover technologies, you're going to rediscover other sort of emergent, I guess, progressive elements that make your caravan stronger on each run and give you a better chance of surviving. A fair warning to anybody that's never seen this game before. This is one of those games that is going to kill you absolutely dead on your first couple runs. I think it's actually possible to die in like the first 10 minutes of the game on your first couple runs. You're going to want to have these upgrades, and these are everything from attack power on over to your characters start out at level 2 to things like they have more HP. I have personally felt like the upgrades here are meaningful and they do increase the longevity of your runs, even with the first couple that you purchase. Like some of the ones here are going to be like increases your block by large amounts for some characters, by like 50 to 60%, your attack power by 20 to 30%. Stuff like that. It does feel meaningful, and thus far I've been pretty happy with the roguelite unlockable element of the game. At the beginning of the game, we've got to draft our troops. These troops come in different races, they come in different sizes, they come in different classes. I've already got some that are kind of my favorite, and on top of that, you are not limited to the races that are inside of this first city. The game has cultures and other races that live in other places that will specialize in different things. If you have characters that die along the way, this game does have permadeath, and so you will be able to recruit new ones as you get further on into the game, and sometimes you're just going to have to make do with whatever you can grab. I'm going to take Salpi first, and then from there, I'm going to take Umbana, I'm going to take Ulvashi, and I will probably take... You kind of want to focus on characters that have map abilities that they can use. I've never taken the Archer before, so I'm kind of tempted to do it, but Koza is really, really good. So let's take Koza here and see if we can make it on in. Now, there's a couple things you could do each inside of these tiles. The game has various kind of lore elements that are going to pop out at you. One thing that is good about this game is that the writing is actually pretty solidly constructed. The pixel art is absolutely beautiful. It's a really good-looking game. We're starting out from our origin point of Macaw. We've got 46 supplies right now. Every single step you take on the overall world map, which is comprised of hexagons, is going to cost you supplies depending on whether or not it's Badlands tiles or Grasslands tiles or Dune tiles. Things of that nature. We're probably going to starve to death. I think the number one cause of death for me is just running out of supplies. They can be kind of hard to source and come by. But there's also a quest board here. You can do your progressive elements over on this side, your meta unlocks. But let's head on out into the world. So this is what the game looks looks like. It's really, really pretty. One of the things the game does exceptionally well is that it's very beautiful. But if we left click, we'll move around. Right click allows us to rotate the camera. One big change that they need to make right off the bat is that the scroll speeds are too fast, both on WASD and on right click. You're going to have way, 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 way too sensitive of scroll speed, and unfortunately the options do not apply a salve to that issue. But really the core of the game is that you just travel, and things happen, and those things happening, you have an overall goal that you're trying to hit. So for the people of Musa Wenkosi, I've got a quest to go find a fetish over on this side that they want me to return to one of their museums that's going to help them with some kind of research or something. I can drop that off there, and we'll get some kind of bonus for that. Probably a whole bunch of memories or a tablet fragment or something like that that'll upgrade the next tier of meta progressive unlocks. I've also got a quest over here to find the mother tree, your mama. That's literally what they named the tree. So along the way, I'm going to be making lots of references to your mama. It's the easy, low-hanging fruit that every YouTuber prays for at the beginning of every single video. But for now, I don't really have that many objectives for me to hit, so we'll probably just head east and see how things go. There will be points of interest as you travel. These points of interest will allow you to get supplies. They will allow you to get supplementary items. They will allow you to interact with the world in various ways. We definitely want to take this fight over here so that we can get some XP at the beginning of the game. Could the end of the world result from a stinger the size of a cactus thorn? The question sprung to mind as one of us got stung on the ankle and collapsed. Although they only fainted for a moment as a reaction to the pain, the fall resulted in a head injury. Okay, we've got our hope up here. This hope up here is going to dictate how well we do in various combats and various things that happen. Unfortunately, this game is riddled with events that are like, tee-hee, you lose half your health. That's kind of the way that it goes. I'm not a big fan of things like that. I kind of feel like the player character should always have ways to avoid or mitigate it, but it is a part of this game if that's the kind of thing that annoys you. We'll just put a health potion on that person, and we will carry on. Health potions, comparatively, are not altogether that expensive in this little trading simulator. Combat is going to unfold like what you would expect from something like Darkest Dungeon. It's highly interactive. However, the text is entirely too small for their entire combat UI. I get the feeling they did that just to squeeze it on in, but throughout the game, I've had trouble like mousing over things, seeing the numbers that are being implied over here. The game definitely needs to have a larger UI available for combat. I honestly think they could have got this done better if they had arranged it vertically. So your health bar goes up vertically on the side, and then a much larger shield for block is up here, and then they would also have room for much larger icons for random things if they put them on like the back left of these characters. That's my observation, but let's start the fight. Combat in this game is initiative-based. Every single character in your party has various stats, from strength on into like constitution to intelligence. These are going to dictate the damage that you deal with various attacks along the way. You've got HP, you've got block up in here. Squint really hard and you might be able to see it. But we've started out right here with a turn for, I forget her name, our snake lady. She's got two different abilities. She's got pyracantha vines. Those allow her to put block on frontliners, which can be very, very helpful because we've already had our block shredded. He's going to take 6 damage right there from the thorns effect that was put on these characters. Block basically mitigates all damage except for like poison and bleeds, I think, as of right now. So keeping your block nice and stiff is a really good idea. This character has Death Pulse. One other way that tactics are going to come into this game is that for the enemy only, when you shatter their block, they get stunned for 1 turn. And so planning your stuns out is a really smart thing to do. So this guy has now been stunned. We can break through right here because his damage penetrates. So I'm going to keep up this attack over on this side. Unfortunately, took some damage from the poison that's on him right there. Our Pyromancer has Incinerate and has Voracious Ambition. It's up to you what you want to do. I'm just going to focus on stun locking their party as much as possible so that on the next round I have lots of fun things that I can do. This guy acts next after this turn. So let's go ahead and stack up some block right here on these guys and also supply them with some thorns. This guy is going to attack, and it's going to do 12 damage, but he's going to get a reflective effect right there. That's very good for us. Let's stun lock this guy for the next turn. He's now been stunned. This guy over here is going to be able to do a finishing move on this side to kill this guy off and also get a little bit of damage off over to there, which is good for us. We're going to fire blast this guy down. There goes the fire blast. This game does have various visual effects and like camera shake and things that have been applied to it. I turned it all off. Some people might say that the combat feels better with that stuff enabled, but I am a voracious hater of screen shake. I just can't stand it, so I turned it off, and that option was actively available inside your options menu. Sorry about the dog flag being on screen. I don't know what it was blocking. Let's look. It was blocking what time of day it was, so they could have been more catastrophic. I'm just gonna leave it. I have myself on the wrong streaming profile right now. I've got myself on live stream mode instead of having myself on recording mode. So as I was saying, we probably want to touch up our supplies a little bit. We also have abilities that allow us to interact with the game world in meaningful ways. So I can increase everybody's shield. It looks like I can consume fertile land and the caravan will regain health. I can also use Life Spring, which allows me to AoE fertilize plants just in case I need to resupply in a bad situation. You can use them whenever you like. You've also got a assortment of items that will either interact with the game world, can be deployed in combat, or will allow you to skip challenges when you get to them. You are limited by your carrying weight, though, so be careful what you decide to bring. I'll probably upgrade Umbana first. Yeah, let's get Umbana upgraded because we got some XP for that last combat. So he can get Raised Shield, which allows him to gain 38 block and protect somebody in the party. This is a very good ability. He's also got Shield Bash, which will slow the enemy down and delay their turn. I think I'd rather have the block. On top of that, it's going to increase all of his stats by +1. Every single ability in this game is tooltipped, letting you know what the conversion process is going to be for the damage and what stat it's actually referencing when trying to increase that damage. These will be the metagame progression things that I've unlocked, and every character class has kind of different resistances they can play around with. I think, let's have a look at the map. I think it's a decent idea for us to kind of head south and maybe see if we can do this quest on this run. So maybe we'll follow this down south and stay in the grassland to conserve supplies and just sort of see how it goes. Over there I get 20 supplies, but I don't really need 20 supplies right now. I'll grab supplies from right here. This thing, if I use Macerate on it, will give us +20 supplies. Let's just move to the south. I really like this hex revealing effect. I think it looks really good. Let's just kind of travel down this way and see if there's any fights or any trouble we can get ourselves into to level up a little bit, because it did say specifically that that quest is going to be difficult for me at my current level. We were traveling beneath a sailboat that was gliding through the skies when it got caught in a whirlwind. Out of control, it nosedives at our position. We can slow its descent, and that'll give us reputation with Nebulous. I guess we can try. The ship crashed to the ground, shattering in a shower of debris, but the passengers escaped unscathed. A miracle. They embraced us and promised to spread the word of our feat. You do have reputation with all of these various cities that are on the map, and based on where your reputation is at, it'll unlock new quests and other things you can kind of interact with and go do on your run, I suppose. I could technically fertilize both of these, and that would give us a supply. Let's get this fight under our belt real fast, though, to get some more XP and level up our guys a little bit further. Once you get a certain distance away from home, you tend to get absolutely smashed by everything that looks at you wrong, and everything out here is looking at you wrong, so you got to kind of watch yourself. He threw out a firebomb, lit a couple people on fire. Let's get some more block and some thorns stacked up, because they do have a front line over here that I'd like to protect myself from. Good stuff. And he's just going to buff and get a little bit more block. All right. Let's have you attack over here to break through, because we need to get to that AoE mage. As long as our squishies are taking damage in the back line, that's bad business for us. You raise shield and protect the other tank. You're up to almost 80 block right there, which is really fantastic. Let's go ahead and stun their wizard so we're not catching any more AoEs. That sounds good to me right now. From there, you play that on ourselves so that we can get some block to the back lines just in case they miraculously manage to get an attack off to the back line. Rather not deal with those shenanigans right now. Let's secure the kill right there. Good stuff. And then that also gave him like 32 block, which is fantastic. I'll probably go Inquisitive Stare at this guy, because that's going to make us deal double damage on the next hit. Our next hit, of course, being our Pyromancer, who's absolutely going to schlap this guy down into a stunned status. Let's throw out some poison right there to kill him off. And then from here, we'll kill this guy off, get a little bit more block, and that was an easy peasy combat. No problem right there. Easy stuff. Loot, we got a smoke grenade, we got a black pearl, and we've got a nopal berry. Nopal berries are nice because you can use them inside your inventory to refill your supplies should those fall too low. We've also got enough XP for another level up right here. I'll probably level up the other tank, I think. We can get soul corruption, so it does 36 damage and reduces hope. Okay, we can get memory overload. It looks like we'll deal 24 damage right there, and if the target doesn't have a shield, it will randomly apply 12 damage to somebody else. It looks like we can also do mental purge, which will get rid of all of our debuffs and deal 24 damage. That feels alright. Let's focus on getting rid of debuffs, because they can be pretty considerable if you're not careful about it. Let's walk down this way, and we'll kind of see where our supplies are at. There's a treasure chest right there, and we have 2 lockpicks, so I feel like it's a smart idea to go for that. We'll also play this right here to resupply from these 2 spots. There is randomized combat in this game, by the way, in case you were worried about it. You've got this little meter up here. It fills up as you move tiles. It's kind of how aware the world is of you, of things going on and whatnot. We're a little bit overweight right now. I'll probably ditch the smoke bomb. Colopod 14 and weakens the enemy. I can't even use consumables yet, so they're pretty much only good as tradables. However, we can crack this bad boy open with a lockpick and see what we get. So we got 4 pickaxes, and it looks like we got a scouting flare. Let's use the scouting flare now. And it looks like we're headed into desert right there, which is a little bit worrisome. We're going to gain a little bit of supplies by going over here. What is that? Macabre Borderlands. Oh, we've got a discovery over here. Well, I said I was heading south, and we're a little bit low on supplies. So part of me feels like I should stick to that. It'll take us 18 to get 20 back right there. We're a little bit discouraged. There's a well up there. Let's stick to the plan. So we need to go southwards a little bit. We'll try to stick to the grasslands. I've still got a few macerates left, so we'll probably come over here and we'll use a macerate on this to gain supplies. There's another supply spot right there, but we're going to have to cross the dunes to get to it. It's a little bit murky down here. I'm a tiny bit concerned about what we can actually do down here in the grasslands. Or, I'm sorry, down here in the dirtlands, like the badlands. Still not far enough south to get to the thing that I want to get to either. But I am in uncharted territory, which means we're stacking up all kinds of extra memories and whatnot. I think I can mine this, and that'll give us a geode slag. We'll get 12 supplies from right here just to get us back on the horse. We do have a dust storm going on right now. There's a campsite over there with like a quest attached to it. If I can fight them, I can get the supplies I need in order to keep cruising. We're going to lose 36% of our health getting down there, though, so it's going to get worse before it gets better. Like I said, supplies run out really quickly once you leave the grasslands, and that's ultimately, I think, the thing that kills off my caravans more quickly than anything else in the game is just running out of supplies. There's not a whole lot of supply nodes on the map. Alright, let's start this fight off. This is a pretty stacked enemy team, so we're going to want to be careful about how we apply ourselves here. He's already had his guard broken. That's not great. We've got a bunch of grenades being thrown out. That also suckets. Let's get our guard back up real quick. Okay, lightning strike right there. Let's remove some debuffs from right here, and we'll start getting some stuns taken care of. We'll probably run protection on you just to get our block back up. Over here, it would be ideal to stun their wizard as well. I think I'd be okay with that. We are taking a lot of damage from the storm, though, right now, I think. Like, we're taking a lot of extra damage at the end of every turn, and I find with all the tiny icons and whatnot, sometimes it can be incredibly difficult just to figure out what's harming you at any given time. Let's keep their block all nice and stocked up. An attack went out for 21 to right there. Oof, big hit right there, unfortunately. Let's stun him up, too, so that he loses another turn. And on this side, I think we're about ready to kill, and he's going to get a bunch of block from killing that guy off. Over here, no block left. We'll put the block this time on the wizard, or the protection on the wizard, just to make sure we know where we're at. He's going to wake up. All right, having now woken up, continue flinging block on our back line, because they still have a lot of things that are capable of hitting our back line right now. 30 damage is a kill right there. So let's get rid of that AoE. Down he goes. I do feel like the animations in this game could have used like a few more frames, and I think I somewhat recall bringing that up the last time I played the game, where it feels like the animations, they have like little 2 or 3 or like 4 frame animations. I can't help but wonder how much better the game would look if it had like 12 frame animations or 16 frame animations. Obviously, that greatly increases the amount of work that goes into designing the game, but visually, I think it would have made the game look better. I can't really do a whole lot back here, so let's keep focusing on the wizard, I guess. She can't spit to the back line, unfortunately. Let's keep our block nice and stocked up, because this guy can still hit the back row, so we're not out of the woods yet. 20 damage out right there. We can soak that. That's fine. Kill him off. I wish for him to no longer exist. Thank you. And then we're just going to go full DPS on these nerds over here. Try to get this armor down and stun lock him. Oh, I probably should have done the stairs so that we get double damage on the next hit. That was probably a misplay, but there's the kill. We've secured it, and now we are out of here, and we have 23 XP and a Nopal Berry, which is nice, because our supplies are absolutely shattered right now. We don't really have anything left. Run the Nopal Berry right now. We do need to get down to that well, but the well is covered by a bad guy. Let's conjure an illusory feast, because that means we can move 5 tiles without dying. Over here, let's level up the Pyromancer so that he hits a little bit harder. He's got an option with Fire Coat. That'll give us fire resistance. We can get Burning Swarm, which does 28 damage. Or we can get Immolation, which does 24 damage and restores 21 health. I think that's an easy pick right there. It deals damage while at the same time healing, and there's not a whole lot of supplies or sources of healing in this game. We'll also level up the Botanist while we're here, because why not? 12 damage and Weakened. We've got Protected, Deadwood Bark. Okay, that's not really her specialty, tanking, so I'll probably go with the 50% nerf to the enemy's ability to hurt us right there. We'll probably throw out those pods so that we can travel. This right here we're going to use on him, just to get our health back up to an okay level, because these other guys can generate like infinite shield in combat in order to keep themselves up and running. It's really the squishies in the back that when they get sniped, you feel it. I don't know if I want to go down to here and resupply first and then try to go across to there. We'll have to fight these dudes, which has me kind of worried. But we will get 12 supplies, which would help us a couple tiles across over there, I think. Or we can just go for this over here and take the 25% health loss. Let's go for it. Maybe it'll be alright. It's also possible that it 100% will not be all right. That's also a possible outcome that we tend to forget about being gamblers, but that's life. Let's get some shield up on the back line. That sounds really good. We're going to take a little bit of scuffing on the front line, I think. Yeah, we got hurt a little bit on the front line. It kind of is what it is. For you, restore your HP and schlap their wizard. And then for you, we probably want you to shell up. 52 block is a lot of block for the enemy to overcome. We'll have him block her so that he's now got himself stocked up as well. Let's get some thorns on the front line, I guess. Because they have no choice but to hit the front line or to spam block, so like... And they chose to spam block. Fair enough. He's going to take a lot of damage from that Thorns Reflect right there, though. Alright, so with this damage going out, let's bash this guy. He's now stunned. Let's go with a Gnarly Stare right there to set up the Pyromancer with a 1-2 punch. Okay, he got one-shotted. That's exactly what I was going for. That's the good stuff. Over here, technically I could Venomous Spit their wizard down, and I think that would actually be a really good idea at this point in the combat. Their armor's still up. Go ahead and kill him. Because it accomplishes the same thing as what we were trying to accomplish anyways. You block for her because she's pretty beat up. I don't think he has a way to snake any damage off right there, but who knows. That should break the armor and get on through, so now we've got the stun lock, and that's going to be the victory. Finish him off. Well, we got some dates. That's good. I mean, that's 10 supplies that we didn't have previously, and I'm trying to make my way back down here and grab that thing for these guys. And I don't know exactly how successful we're going to be at it. I've never tried to push down to the south before, and so I don't really know what to expect. Use the dates. The dates will get us to that well. We have a quest fight right here with a pirate group. Let's increase our block for the next fight and just dive on into it. I guess this is what we came down here to do. Even if you die, you keep all of your quests and whatnot between every single run, and so any progress you make is good progress. The real worry we have here is that we get one-shotted on the first turn. That's pretty much it. Go ahead and put some block up on them, because I don't know how hard these guys are going to hit. He's going to spam block. He's also going to spam block. That actually probably just saved us, because now I can actually get my block up and running. Let's raise shield to protect her. And then Pyromancer. We'll just start working the front line, I guess. Okay, a little bit of damage out there to the front. Let's go with getting block back up on the back lines real quick, even though she's protected. It's nice to just keep a decent amount of block on your characters. Okay, that's fine. We're tanking. We're alright. Let's just go for a big gnarly hit right there. That's going to give us a stun, which should give us some time to adapt to what the enemy's doing here. Keep blocking for her, because I want your block to be like over 60 before we start making a push to actually finish off the enemy. You blast their wizard for a stun, and now they've lost 66% of their turn, so we should be in okay shape here to start DPSing and making this thing happen. Alright, with a little bit of poison right there. Big stab going out, though. However, all my armor's back because I just killed your guy, so have fun wasting your turn, I suppose. Let's get an Inquisitive Stare right there for the big kill. Fireball out right there. I will probably continue to have her stack block because the block is mitigating the sandstorm effect that we have right now. Every turn we're taking 5 armor from the sandstorm, so it's one of those things where, unfortunately, I'm sort of forced into a little bit of a certain play style right now. Enemy's now down, and we've got ourselves covered. We got a lot of XP for that. The real question is, though, can we drop it back off at the place that it needs to go without dying horribly? We've still got to drop it off, I think. But that'll be a big come-up for this run. So we can get down to the campsite. That's going to use up the majority of our supplies. I've got to destroy some things. I've got a few too many of these shells, and they're kind of heavy. There is trading in this game. There's different societies that have different things that they want to trade for and different things that they desire. You can just take those things over there. You can trade for new characters and stuff like that. Someone met their fate here. So we can get that, or we can climb up on the vehicle and get grenades. I'll probably take the herbal cure. Now that we're overweight, though, get him healed up. Was that the only one that I had? Ugh, bummer. We got a lot of nasty fights down here. Was this even the right spot? It looks like it was. So I think I recovered the thing that they wanted. But I have my doubts. We're surrounded on all sides by fights. There's not really a path that we can work our way through here. We're going to lose somebody down here. One of my tanks, unfortunately, I think. We'll use the Macerate on that just to get us a little bit of supplies and maybe make it a little bit further. I don't have any healing items, so our elephant guy's about to die right now. Let's give him the next level up. The next level up, we can upgrade Shell, we can upgrade Death Pulse. I'll probably take Galvanize since it gives us a DPS increase when we kill the enemy. We have the Jet Fetish. Well, maybe I can drop it off on my next run. We do have an event right here. You discovered vast terraced fields under rapid harvest by a veritable army of Flawans. Not all the crops seemed to be ripe, but we were told that a storm was approaching, and they were already doubting whether they were enough to save what could be saved. We can help them water the crops and get Nepal berries. Yeah, we'll do. With the help of our botanist, we did more than pick. We brought back life to the precious plants that the terracers had already given up on. Cool. The dates will buy us, like, another couple seconds of being alive. Alright, we got that right there. And we've been attacked on the road. This is probably the end for us. But I think I've brought up most of the things that I have a problem with inside of this game. In a commercial product, you probably don't want to have exposed text strings. These icons are way too tiny. The scroll speed needs to be adjusted. The game may have a difficulty curve that is not to the liking of a lot of people. This is a game where your average run is going to be about 20 minutes, which some people are really going to like. They're going to appreciate that because you can kind of beer and pretzels it up. However, some people are not going to like that very much. 52 damage right there? Do it. Oh, he's not dead. Well, bummer. I wanted him to be dead. I desired a thing, and it didn't happen. I just gotta keep my block up. However, it does capture that feeling of just being desperate travelers in strange lands that don't really understand what's going on and sort of rediscovering a world. And for that event we did right there, we got 20 memory points, which is great. I was thinking this run was going to be a wash. But I think I've brought up all of my problems with the game thus far. I do like the art style. I do like the world building. I do like how every single item has a description of its context inside the game world. They do a really good job at building up sort of this freak world place that you live as a traveler and don't potentially understand. What does this place do? Let's us scout. I mean, we might be able to make it over here. There is a herd right there. Let's see if we can make it to the herd. But yeah, this is one of those games that if you're into things like Curious Expedition and like resource management games, and you were hoping there'd be a resource management game that was a little bit more difficult and nasty, this one definitely seems to fit that bill. A hand reaching for fruit grabbed a sloppy, moldy mess. What horror. Some fungus contaminated a good part of our food stocks. Should we throw... I mean, we're already out of food, so, like, might as well. There's a little bit of food back. And where is Mawasaki up here? Okay, so I gotta go this way. And hopefully not starve or get attacked on my way over there. That would be preferable. You're at the end of your rope. What was supposed to happen happened. A slight disagreement of no particular importance degenerated into tension, then shouting, then provocations and threats. Our bodies demanded violence, but reason commanded us to stop the madness. The fight broke out just early enough that only a few punches in, everybody realized it wasn't worth it. Faced with our own stupidity, we returned to the road covered in bruises. Ugh, that actually killed us. Rough one. We were gonna make it, dude. We were gonna make it, and that fight killed us by reducing everybody's HP. Bummer. And then from there, there's nothing else to do but make a new caravan. And spend your meta-progressive tokens. My name is Splattercat. I sift through the pile to find what's worthwhile in the world of indie games every single day so you don't have to. Today on the chopping block, we had ourselves Sandwalkers. Tomorrow, we'll have ourselves something else. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I think that's about all that I've got for you. Take care, folks, and I'll see y'all tomorrow with something hot and fresh off that old indie skillet. Bye.